An out-of-control chimp on the assault.
He's crazy.
It's not every day you wake up in Kansas City to find a chimpanzee in your front yard.
A massive mammal goes off the deep end.
That's a frickin' buffalo. How in the world are we gonna get that thing out of the pool?
And a couple of co-ed cows go carousing across campus.
I thought, holy cow, is this really happening?
We brought wild animals into our world, in zoos, on farms, and as pets. We think we have them under control. But what happens when these creatures break loose and become animal fugitives? It's a normal day for Michael Abron and his girlfriend when they hear a strange noise coming from outside their house.
Basically, we were sitting upstairs in the second floor, and we were just watching TV. And, you know, we don't live in the safest neighborhood, so all we heard outside was a loud bang.
When he looks outside, Michael spies a trespasser, unlike any he's ever seen. He's speechless when he sees that on his front yard is a chimpanzee weighing over 130 kilograms. Wanted, common chimpanzee, aka Suko. Michael grabs his cell phone and starts filming the scene from his roof.
This is the safest place we felt, was on the roof.
So the craziest happened today. There's a chimpanzee in Tiffany's front yard, okay? He started knocking on windows and hitting people's car. He's a huge motherfucker too. And he's crazy. He hit one car and started smiling. What a crazy day.
But when the chimp turns its attention to Michael's house, it's no laughing matter.
He started looking at us, and he'd look down, and he'd look up, and then he started reaching for the front door. That's when I knew he was gonna try to come in the house. He was jiggling the handle, and then Tiff started screaming.
Hey, is your back door locked?
Yeah.
Are you sure? This dude can get in.
And this ape is no dope. Chimpanzees are extremely intelligent. They're known to use tools and can figure out complex tasks that would stump other animals. This means a simple backdoor handle is not going to keep out this ape.
I felt threatened because what if he decides to, you know, go ape shit on us and kill us or something? I locked the door and then ran back upstairs.
Sensing a situation quickly getting out of control, Michael calls 911.
In the front yard. We've got residents standing by.
Sergeant John Bloomquist is the responding officer.
Obviously, it was a call that was probably unlike any other. Not very often do we come across a call where we've got a loose chimpanzee in the inner city. And that's basically what this is. My officers and the dispatchers were somewhat skeptic about it, and you could tell in their voices whenever they're asking, is this real?
When Officer Bloomquist arrives on the scene, he discovers that the report of an unruly primate is very real.
I see two individuals up on the roof of a house. This chimpanzee around the front yard.
He knows how to open car doors. He opens car doors!
But to the sergeant's surprise, this wild animal doesn't appear ready to attack. In fact, it seems to be quite the opposite.
I'm no expert on chimp behavior, but she appeared to be having a good time.
While Sergeant Bloomquist awaits backup, Michael watches in disbelief as the enormous ape has a party on his lawn.
This monkey was making motions, you know, doing all human types of stuff. He had a personality, you know what I'm saying?
And it's not long until this cheeky chimp literally starts trashing the place.
So after he came over here, he grabbed the trash cans and started playing with them. And he started dragging the recycling bin toward the cop car. Just dragging and dragging and dragging it.
He's throwing our trash.
There's garbage in there, so the thing was heavy, and he was just pushing it like a toy all the way down the street.
Got one.
But quickly it becomes clear that this primate isn't playing around.
I think they're gonna shoot him.
He starts moving really fast, started accelerating towards the cop car.
I didn't really have time to think. It just happened so fast.
Yeah.
She hit the front of the car so hard, it honestly sounded like a drum in here.
Yeah.
Before Sergeant Bloomquist can react, Suko is on the roof unloading on his squad car.
Oh, he's jumping on the cop car. He's smashing it up.
Sergeant Bloomquist can't believe he's got a 130-kilogram chimpanzee on his car that appears to have a problem with authority.
I'm thinking, how much damage is this chimp gonna do to my car? Right after that, she jumps off, karate kicks the front windshield.
Chimpanzees are said to be up to 6 times stronger than an average human. And with one kick from Suko's powerful hind leg, the squad car's window doesn't stand a chance.
He broke the cop's window.
That was, wow, it was amazing, but it was crazy at the same time.
With the chimp getting aggressive, officers are left with no choice. When backup arrives, they bring out a tranquilizer gun.
There's like 10, 15 cops in here with all their guns out, and animal control guy, and they're getting ready to shoot the monkey.
Kansas City Police Force versus a wild monkey. Who's gonna win? Shoot the girl, man.
It's a direct hit.
He shot the girl.
You got the video going?
Yep.
Witnesses wait for Suko to collapse from the tranquilizer dart. But amazingly, she doesn't.
He just told the guy he need more tranquilizer. Holy
The whole time, me and Tiff were sitting on the roof right over there, just watching all this chaos happen.
Officers prepare more tranquilizers. But before they can act, a man arrives. It's Suko's owner. But when Suko sees a familiar sight, her owner's van, she makes an unexpected move.
The chimpanzee just jumped back into the owner's van and just stayed there. So,
Once he saw the van, he went directly for it.
And just like that, the unprecedented standoff is over.
I felt the big relief moment when the chimp was inside his van.
Suko surrenders, and her owner, under police escort, takes the animal to a new home in a local primate sanctuary, ensuring there will be no more unexpected escapes for this great ape.
What a day, huh? Monkey in the front yard. Ain't that some shit?
It felt like a special moment out of history. So I had to share it with the world.
In the U.S., most states require a permit to keep exotic pets to help avoid accidental escapes and out-of-control encounters. But not all animal invaders are pets. Some are wild and just looking for a place to hang out. Salt Lake City. Something unusual is happening in the Utah State Treasurer's office. It isn't raining pennies from heaven. These 9-to-5ers are battling a swarm of Mexican free-tail bats. And umbrellas no protection against these cave dwellers. Even grown men are running scared. Going down? Nope. Staying put. For weeks, these winged workers have been circulating the office, taking meetings, and dropping memos. Or dropping on memos, as the case may be. While workers have managed to catch a few of these pesky pencil pushers, staff are stuck ducking the rest. Mary Poppins is down and out. But while figuring out how to get these webbed invaders out could drive a branch manager batty, one thing's for sure. At the next office party, wings are definitely not on the menu. It's a typical afternoon on the campus of Ohio State University. Students are in class. Researchers are hard at work. And on the soccer field, it looks like practice is in session. But it's not the school's team that has taken the field. It's spring semester. Film student Andy Dillon, seen here in the winter term, is on his way to class when he spots two female black and white belted Galloway cows taking a campus tour.
So I was walking towards class, and on my left here was the first instance where I saw the cows. I thought at first it could have been a prank done by a fraternity or sorority. I wasn't sure exactly what was going on. It was just a sight to see when I'm walking to class and there's just two cows in the middle of the field.
And Andy's not alone. High up on the 8th floor of the science building, researcher Sabrina Garman is one of a growing crowd of onlookers bowled over by the campus cattle.
When I saw these cows, I thought, holy cow, is this really happening? No pun intended.
But these cattle haven't gone Greek. They've actually escaped from the OSU vet school, where their owner was having their hooves trimmed. It's not long until veterinary students arrive on the scene and attempt to recapture the cows. But instead of using ropes and halters, these students improvise.
This is where basically I caught the cows being corralled. Veterinary technicians were on the field using soccer goals as nets and keep them in one area.
But spectators are skeptical.
When I saw them gathering the soccer nets, we're like, are these idiots seriously trying to catch cows with soccer nets?
Why they would use soccer goals is beyond me.
The idea quickly proves full of holes. The cows simply push past the makeshift corral and carry on with their campus carousing.
And then, of course, when they broke through, it was like, told you so.
Next, campus cops step in to try their approach.
This was the first moment where I saw almost like a cops and robbers type standoff.
They drive a squad car onto the field and try to use it to steer the animals toward a waiting vet student. But the cows have other plans.
Once they saw the cop cars, then all hell broke loose.
Ohio State University. Campus cops are attempting to herd two runaway cows toward a waiting vet student.
I'm walking to class and there's just two cows in the middle of the field with a bunch of police cars.
But these cows aren't cooperating.
They reacted in kind of like a flight or fight type scenario, and they just kind of freaked out and ran right into one of the vet technicians.
All of a sudden, the soccer field spectacle turns serious.
When I saw that cow charge that woman, I was horrified.
They just flipped out.
For a tense moment, no one knows how badly the student is hurt.
We were very thankful when she got back up because the way he hit her, we thought that she had a broken leg, broken ribs.
Luckily, the woman is uninjured. But by now, these previously harmless heifers are off on a full-fledged stampede.
This really looked like a prison break. We had cows running around through police cars, running into people, and just running amok. They were going crazy.
With the cows out of control, cops and vet students step up their efforts to box in the renegades.
You did it.
But with so many people involved, the chase quickly turns into an uncoordinated comedy of errors.
I thought the whole situation was funny, just from start to finish. The cows just were completely eluding every possible attempt to capture them.
It looked ridiculous.
The spectacle gets even sillier when a student tries a new technique.
At one point, a couple of the vet technicians got a hold of some sticks and were waving them around. It looked like almost like an incompetent matador. You couldn't write this stuff.
We were rooting for the cows because we thought it was a little ridiculous how they were handling it. We were just watching from our windows, laughing.
Someone screamed animal cruelty. Oh, he did it.
Ole.
Finally, the home team has the advantage when the partners in crime split up.
So miraculously, one of the fugitive cows jumped in between and over two police cars, ran past a person holding sticks like a matador, and ran his way up this hill, all the way out this way towards the freeway.
Here, Columbus City Police get involved in the chase when they surround and forcibly subdue the cow, leaving campus cops free to set up a grand finale for this epic escape. They pull up a trailer and attempt to coax the remaining fugitive cow inside.
So finally they get the cow into a corner where it's calm, and up drives a golf cart with the sorriest cowboy I've ever seen throw a lasso maybe a foot over the cow's neck.
There was actually bets taken by my coworkers when they would whip out the lasso, just because it was a giant joke.
But the tactic works. Vet students have the cow completely under control, and the outnumbered animal surrenders, ending an unforgettable day at OSU.
The star of the show is definitely the cows. Hands down. Honestly, in the back of my mind, I was smiling for the cow just to kind of say, go, buddy, you go for freedom.
While campus cops at OSU completely underestimate a pair of hot-stepping heifers, 14 hours away in Bel Air, Kansas, a feathered fugitive on the run is in for a surprise when a wily vice principal gets in on the chase. April 6th, 2005, Sunrise Christian Academy. School has just started when Vice Principal Ron Pitchman gets an unexpected phone call.
Anytime you hear that you have a call from the police, you think, oh no, am I in trouble?
But this call isn't about an unpaid parking ticket or an unruly student. The private academy keeps a stable of exotic animals, and it seems one of them is loose.
He said, well, we have one of your emus has escaped, and you need to come and catch them.
Wanted, Dromaeus novaehollandia, a.k.a. emu. Also waiting on site is Kyle Lindstedt, the school's athletic director, reluctantly recruited by police to help capture the animal.
I consider myself a normal person that doesn't enjoy encounters with wild animals that I can't control. But Ron, on the other hand, he comes to work with a pair of cowboy boots in his trunk, you know, just because he's waiting for something to go like this.
An experienced animal handler, Ron immediately comes up with a plan to capture the galloping game currently running wild.
The only thing that was on my mind was catching that emu and trying to get this chase ended. The first thing that I decided to try was just go for it. Just run as fast as I can and see how close I could get to this emu.
But keeping up with a bird that can run up to 48 kilometers per hour is not that simple.
Every time as I was just approaching to the place where I could actually cut it off, it would turn and it would veer the other direction. He didn't hesitate, he didn't stall, he just took all out like a road runner.
An emu can run. I mean, I'm no match for just about any animal, but an emu especially is crazy fast.
After a futile foot chase, Ron decides that simply running down this fugitive fowl is not going to work. So he and Kyle try a new tactic.
We found some landscape netting. We decided we're going to try to use this netting to catch this emu. Every time we thought the bird was going right into the net, he would get spooked at the last second, head off in the other direction, and we were standing there holding the empty net. Bird brain is probably a pretty good description. It just kept running wild.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was frustrating. It was one of those deals where you're thinking, we're never going to get it.
After several hours on the chase, the would-be captors seem to be finished. But then they catch a break when the renegade bird tries to hop a small fence.
As it went over this fence right here, I reached out as it was going over. The legs were sticking out from behind it. I grabbed one leg and held on to that.
Finally, Ron is able to get his hands on the escaped bird. But this fugitive is not giving up without a fight.
The other leg came up and hit me. He gave me a pretty good wallop.
The impact causes Ron to loosen his grip, and the emu is on the run again. But the chase isn't over yet. As the emu runs away from Ron, it heads directly towards Kyle. And this reluctant bird wrangler makes a citizen's arrest.
It kind of ran right by me, and I just grabbed its neck. And it was probably for 2 or 3 seconds, but I wasn't going to let go.
It's enough time for Ron to jump the bird. But how do you get an ornery emu under your thumb? There's only one way. Schoolteacher Ron Pitchman has an avian outlaw in a bear hug. But the bird isn't going down easy. So how do you get a bird this big under control? There's only one way. You tackle it.
At that point, I got very excited. I just knew that this was the opportunity. I reached down, bulldogged it up to get its legs up off the ground.
And Ron flips the bird. 1, 2, 3. This emu's down for the count.
Once I got my hands on those 2 legs and pulled the legs up off the ground, that emu wasn't going to go anywhere.
Ron and Kyle hog-tie the bird and load him into a van for the ride back to school.
Great day for a chase.
But there's no detention for this bird. Back at the academy, Ron and Kyle get the surprise of their life. Both their emus are on site safely in their pens. This fugitive is not their bird.
When I was told that this was not our emu, I was just incredulous. I thought, he has got to be mistaken. How many emus are out running around?
I didn't really want to chase my own emu, so you can imagine how excited I was to find out that, I spent my afternoon chasing somebody else's emu.
That somebody is a young cowboy named Colton Johnson, whose emu Charlie has been missing for days.
Well, I came home from school one day and my mom had told me, Charlie's gone. And we went out and we saw where he was normally at, and there was a ton of feathers. We thought that maybe coyotes or some other wild animal had gotten to him.
But after seeing Ron's spectacular takedown on the nightly news, Colton knows exactly where to find his fugitive friend. And after 4 days on the lam and a 12-kilometer journey away from home, Colton and Charlie are reunited.
I was extremely happy to find out that this bird was going back to Colton. I had no idea that there were any other emus anywhere close to Sunrise Christian Academy. I thought it was just a tremendous way to get him reunited with the bird.
Long-legged runners like emus aren't the only critters capable of giving pursuers a run for their money. And sometimes the chase poses more peril for the fugitive than for the would-be captors. In Albuquerque, New Mexico, one fugitive has found itself backed into a precarious position, 12 meters up one of the town's utility poles. But this electrical box isn't getting a repair. It's under siege from a bear. While officials aren't so scared of the bear, they're afraid for this critter's cub, already in custody. One false move by Mama next to this live electrical box, and this high-voltage, high-wire act will turn deadly, leaving her little one an orphan. Rescuers move closer, and as the bear watches the distraction, her paw slips. The enormous shock sends the smoking bear tumbling. Spectators are stunned, but animal control acts quickly. They move her to a transport and get her examined by a vet.
She seems stable. She's breathing regularly. Her heart rate is regular. and I can't really find any injuries on her other than a little burn on the inside of her right rear leg.
This is one fortunate fugitive. She'll sleep off her incredible shot, and in the future might keep 4 paws on the floor. But not all chases end 12 meters up in the air. Sometimes when wild creatures get caught out of their element, it can turn into a case of sink or swim. October 2010, Sawteenacuchee, Georgia. It's early in the day when homeowner Chris Nonamaker heads outside to do some maintenance on his backyard pool.
It was a beautiful Saturday morning. I came out of the house and I noticed these rips in the pool.
But what really catches Chris's attention are the size of the holes.
This is a very stout pool cover, somewhat like a trampoline. So to see this kind of damage was very shocking.
Chris immediately suspects an animal from the nearby woods punctured the canvas and leans in to investigate.
I didn't see anything, so I assumed a deer or some other animal had fallen in and jumped right back out.
But as Chris walks past the shallow end of the pool, it's clear whatever fell in hasn't made it out.
As I turned this corner right here, suddenly there was a jumping. It was sloshing water, and it was making a god-awful noise. Scared the daylights out of me.
Chris runs into his house and calls his friend Dennis for backup. Within minutes, Dennis and another friend, Neil, are on the scene examining the hulking mass going wild under the pool cover.
We saw the hump in the pool, and I mean, clearly you couldn't make out for what it was. Chris was pretty spooked.
I thought I saw a big old horn.
It was big, whatever it was. There was a little bit of anxiousness on everybody's part.
But the only way to find out what exactly is in the water is to pull back the tarp.
My mind was racing. I didn't know what it was. I was thinking that it was a bear. That's a buffalo. That's a frickin' buffalo. He's not happy.
Wanted, American bison, aka buffalo. It's a sunny Saturday in Georgia when Chris Nonamaker pulls back the cover on his backyard pool to find a 450-kilogram buffalo taking a dip.
That's a buffalo, man.
In the wild, American bison, also known as buffalo, use their large heads and horns for ramming in aggressive territorial standoffs.
We were scared to death that it was going to go wild and hurt somebody. We need to pull it out, but our next dilemma is trying to figure out how to get it out of the pool. Dennis, why don't you call 911, get animal control out here, because he ain't smart enough to go up those steps.
The men decide to call for help. And within the hour, police and the buffalo's owner, a local rancher, arrive on the scene.
Sheriff's officers who arrived said, "Oh, we've been looking for that." They knew it had been missing.
The crew immediately gets to work trying to draw the animal out of the water. But there's a problem.
There was 3-4 guys pulling on this rope trying to pull it out, and it fought us. It fought viciously not to come out.
I want to get the other ear.
Suddenly, rescuers realize the thrashing animal isn't fighting them. It actually can't climb the steps. Its cloven hooves can't grip the slick vinyl lining of the pool.
I was frightened for the animal. You don't want it to get harmed.
What started as a capture has now turned into a life-or-death situation.
We can't get traction, y'all.
Get some deputies down there to pull on that damn rope.
If rescuers can't get the trapped animal free soon, there's a very real chance it could get injured and drown.
There was something wrong. It couldn't get out. We felt sorry for the buffalo. I mean, we really did.
Finally, an onlooker comes up with a suggestion to help the distressed buffalo make it up the steps.
Have you got any kind of an old piece of carpet or something?
Rescuers lay down a piece of rug, and the buffalo finally finds its feet.
It ended up helping tremendously.
But the buffalo isn't out of hot water yet. Rescuers secure the lasso to a tree, then begin pulling with all their might.
It looked very difficult. You could see two of the fellas trying to get it out.
But they can't keep their grip on the over 450-kilogram animal.
I didn't know if it would work. That was truly the most dangerous part of this whole situation.
I guess.
The crew reassembles and tries one more time. Finally, the buffalo makes it onto dry land.
The moment of relief was when we got it out of the pool. The mission was accomplished at that point.
I don't think we'll have that experience anytime soon. I don't think anybody in White County's had that experience anytime soon either.
For Chris and his friends, this capture is a welcome end to an unbelievable ordeal.
I've seen a lot of things in my life. I can honestly say that I've never run into a buffalo in a pool, ever. And probably never will run into a buffalo in a pool. And if anybody else does, call me. I want to hear about it.
I'm glad I shot the videotape because no one in the world would have believed it had you told this story.
This was a case of a land mammal gone off the deep end. But what happens when a sea creature gets a taste for life above the waves? Newport Beach, California. A crew of harbor cops have themselves a stowaway. Busted. This flippered fugitive may be a fish out of water, but the salty sea lion is going to try to make a break for it. Kiss my whiskers, matey. I'm out of here.
Steer the boat, Tracy.
He mans the wheel. Hard starboard. This boat's a rockin'. Let's see what a fin to the throttle will do.
Watch your controls, Tracy. Watch your controls. He doesn't dump in reverse.
Luckily, the good ship Harbor Cop doesn't run aground. And even though this boat isn't going anywhere, this skipper still checks the horizon from the comfort of the captain's chair. Ahoy there, matey. He's back at the helm, this time as a navigator.
I'm checking out our location on the GPS.
But the only place this sea dog's going is back into the drink. After his nautical romp, this mischievous mammal is returned to the wild. As this slippery shipmate can attest, it's not just domestic animals on the loose that can give cops a hard time. Sometimes wild animals on the run in habitats where they don't belong can lure officials into elaborate games of cat and mouse, or monkey, as the case may be. Clearwater, Florida. A crowd of spectators gathers outside a local office complex in this highly populated suburb of Tampa Bay. In the parking lot, officials have one of Central Florida's most notorious renegades cornered.
For over a year, we've been pursuing him, and finally we're going to get him. This is going to be the day.
It's a tense situation. This fugitive isn't some small-time crook. He's strong, smart, and highly elusive.
It's like Spider-Man. He scales a 3-story building without any problems at all. In a matter of seconds, he's up on the roof and then he's down on the other side. There's just no way you can keep up with him. He has simply been able to outsmart every attempt that we have had in trying to capture him.
Until now. Surrounded by law enforcement, it looks like this renegade's time on the run is coming to an end.
That's one big monkey.
Wanted, rhesus macaque, aka the Tampa Bay Mystery Monkey. For over a year, this exotic animal has been popping up in backyards and building complexes all over the Tampa Bay area, sometimes as much as 60 kilometers apart. Since the first sighting of this rogue macaque in 2009, animal tracker Vernon Yates has made it his mission to find the monkey. His goal is to tranquilize it and safely remove the primate from the suburban population before it injures itself or someone else.
Nothing exotic should be at large, period. If somebody does stumble on him at the wrong time, they startle each other, and he does bite them, he will be shot and killed. I don't want that to happen to him. I want him to put him in a monkey-type sanctuary where he will be able to live with his own kind.
But keeping a tail on this monkey has been anything but easy.
I keep these in the truck specifically for the monkey because you never know when the phone call is going to come.
To date, Vernon has had the monkey in his sights over a dozen times. But at every turn, this super fugitive has evaded capture.
The monkey is very agile. He'll climb up the side of downspouts, he'll climb trees, he'll make leaps that you just wouldn't believe.
The animal's daring exploits and frequent but unpredictable appearances have made him a Tampa Bay celebrity with a unique nickname.
Locally, he's been nicknamed the Mystery Monkey. I just usually refer to it as that damn monkey.
But perhaps the most fascinating thing about this meandering macaque is the fundamental question that has given the Mystery Monkey his name. And the mystery is, what is this rhesus macaque monkey, actually native to Asia, doing at large in the suburbs of Florida? Is it a zoo monkey on the loose, an exotic pet on the lam? Theories abound, but Vernon is certain of one thing.
He was nobody's pet monkey. He was a monkey that had been taught how to interlive with traffic and power lines and things. Over my years of experience, what I've seen is pet monkeys will get hit by cars, they'll get chewed up by dogs, or they'll get electrocuted in power lines. This monkey does none of those things.
Vernon's associate, veterinarian Dr. Don Woodman, agrees.
Nobody knows exactly where this monkey came from, but my suspicion is that there is a colony of macaque monkeys up in Silver Springs, and he is from that colony.
This colony allegedly started years ago when someone released several macaques into the Florida wilderness. And if the mystery monkey is wild, it would explain why he's wandering the Florida suburbs now.
In the wild, macaque monkeys live in troops of somewhere between 20 to sometimes over 100 animals.
Typically, when male monkeys reach adolescence, they leave the group in search of females to mate with and start their own family.
And that's pretty much what's happening. He's going out looking for friends and looking for women. Typical teenage behavior.
But for runaway, lovelorn monkeys, the Florida suburbs are slim pickings. Which is why Vernon is intent on trapping him and putting him in a habitat with his own kind.
When we catch him, his life will be much better. We have girlfriends waiting for him. We have medical waiting for him. We have everything that he could want and need waiting for him.
And after multiple near misses, it looks like Vernon finally has his chance to take the monkey down once and for all. Animal tracker Vernon Yates has gotten word the Tampa Bay Mystery Monkey is hiding in a 9-meter tall tree near the parking lot of a Clearwater office complex.
We got the original call. He was in this far big high-rise building further back over there. But, you know, he managed to run through all the different trees in here.
Dr. Woodman knows that even a successful hit with a tranquilizer gives a trapper like Vernon only a small window of opportunity.
We would typically expect a tranquilizer to take effect within 10 minutes.
This means Vernon has to keep the monkey in his sights until the drug kicks in. Otherwise, this hard-to-track macaque will pass out where no one can find him.
That is the real challenge, trying to keep track of him once you tranquilize him.
As Vernon loads his darts and lines up his shot, local news cameraman Iman Nishaw arrives on the scene to cover the takedown.
But when I saw the size of this one, it just blew me away. This is a highly populated area. There's restaurants, everything around here.
But with the monkey protected in the branches and the growing crowd getting dangerously close to the scene, Vernon struggles to line up a shot.
Need you to go way back.
There's many moments in pursuing the monkey. People are the problem. When you go to dart him, you have to be very, very cautious. People don't get in the line of fire.
Finally, Vernon sees a window. This is the moment he's been waiting for. He takes his shot. It looks like a hit, but the monkey's on the move.
He was up in the tree, jumped down off the tree, and across a wide open space.
We put enough drug into it to bring down a linebacker, and he just didn't flinch. It was really amazing. His adrenaline is pumping so hard that it's overpowering the drug.
The mystery monkey makes a getaway before the tranquilizers knock him out.
I'm sure he went down. He just went down where we couldn't find him. We lost him.
And just like that, the mystery monkey is gone.
You know, it just makes you want to pull your hair out and scream. The frustration is there. But I will get him. I mean, it's just a matter of time.
It's another amazing escape for Florida's most famous furry fugitive.
And just to see this thing, it was just amazing. It was great. Just out of this world.
It was incredibly dramatic. It's certainly nothing that they've ever trained you for in vet school.
If a single monkey on the run is impossible to catch, what happens when multiple mammals escape? There are over 5.5 million head of sheep in the United States alone. But it only takes a couple to unleash total bedlam on an unsuspecting small town. As a suburb of Buffalo, Lackawanna, New York sees its fair share of heavy snow and extreme cold temperatures in the winter. But in the spring, not much happens in this sleepy Buffalo suburb. So when residents report a herd of fluffy fugitives hoofing it along the highway on a calm spring evening, cops take notice. Wanted: lambs. Police immediately contact the Lackawanna Meat Market, a specialty slaughterhouse, and inform owner Mike Jarrah that his livestock is literally on the lam.
I thought it was a joke. I told him, you gotta be kidding me.
But this is no laughing matter. When Mike gets to his warehouse, he isn't just missing a lamb chop or two. Someone has broken into his building and let over half his livestock loose on the town.
I had over 250 lambs at the time. And that right there is the door where they had left the building.
Mike immediately goes in search of his lost lambs, but they haven't gotten far.
And that's the church right there where the lambs were. I guess maybe they didn't like the hay I was giving them, so they went to eat some city street grass.
But the city is not standing for these gallivanting grazers. Cops immediately get to work playing Little Bo Peep to these runaway sheep, using the only tools on hand.
About 4 or 5 police officers were in there trying to, just surround them, trying to corral them, trying to get them in.
But these sheep aren't playing ball.
These lambs were pulling circles, they were running across the streets, they went behind homes, they were just running all over loose.
For a second, it seems like one cop gets them cornered. But these ewes pull a Yui and scatter.
They're very smart animals. They just see an opening and run right towards it. They were definitely giving the cops a hard time.
With their foot pursuit failing miserably, police try a new approach.
There's a bunch of patrol cars out there by the street. And all of a sudden, the headlights were pointing right at us.
Cops use their squad cars to herd the hooved hooligans back towards the warehouse. This time, the tactic works.
There was a patrol car right here, there was a patrol car right there. And we walked them down this lane.
With squad cars keeping the creatures corralled, the flock of followers are led right back into the warehouse.
Once I seen that, I seen all the lambs were together. I definitely got a little more calm.
But cops still have to stop and pick up a couple of stubborn stragglers before they can call it a day.
That was it. After those 2 goats came back in, me and my guys threw a party.
It's a happy ending for the haphazard herders in the Lackawanna PD.
They stayed focused and they caught every single lamb.
And for Mike Jarrah, he's happy his flock of fugitives stuck together even on the run.
Thank God they were in herds. Thank God they weren't herds, because if one was here, one was across the street, one was down a block, one was by City Hall, it would have been a disaster.
Amazing escapes, supercharged chases, and unexpected rescues. This is what happens when wild creatures escape and become animal fugitives.